Hi. Okay. Again, I'm going to take a moment and just come back and ground because it's always so nerve-wracking. Just like expressing my truths and saying them out loud. It's just like, that's the way I'm feeling. But I want to talk about beliefs today. And just this realization that I had about beliefs, that it was really like, whoa, it kind of blew my mind. So maybe it will resonate with you and maybe it won't, but I want to share it and I'm just scared. So I'm going to take a few breaths. Okay. Hi, I'm Kai. My pronouns are they, them. And welcome to Kai Soup. I think that's what I'm going to call my YouTube channel because it's just a mismatch of everything and I don't like self-exposed anymore. So I think I'm going to rename it Kai Soup. Nom nom. Hey, anxiety. Yeah. Okay, beliefs. So I've been thinking a lot about beliefs. And what do I mean by beliefs? So I think beliefs are these thoughts that we have over and over again, or something we're told over and over again until we believe it's true. It just becomes like one of these truths that we operate on, like one of these assumptions we make about the world, and we're like, well, that's true. And I think sometimes our beliefs intersect with our values, and values are like what is like super important to us and what kind of brings, I don't know, meaning and worth to our life, I think. So I think it can be very like emotionally charged. And I think beliefs have also been something we formed to protect ourselves. Like I have a belief that, you know, a snake with like red on it is poisonous, so I stay away. I don't actually have that belief. I think that might be true. I'm not around snakes very often, but I'm just sort of giving an example. So lately I've been having more difficult conversations with people, and I guess I should do content warning. I'm going to talk a little bit about racism. I'm going to talk a little bit about abuse. I'm not sure exactly what else I'm going to talk about. Beliefs, obviously. But yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of like talk of like abuse and racism. So if you don't want to hear that, then this video is probably not for you. So there you go. So beliefs. I realize that I am very scared to express my beliefs out loud. I am very scared, and I'm going to express my beliefs about beliefs right now. I am scared to express my political beliefs, my philosophical beliefs, maybe my emotional beliefs. And I've been having more discussions with people about systemic racism in our society and just more discussions about society in general. And I noticed that my first thing that I start to do is rather than listening to the other person, I'm like, oh no, you misunderstood me. And then I like go to just sort of like, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I agree with this part of you, but here's what I was actually trying to say. And there's this sort of like defensiveness that comes up in me like, like, no, you're getting it wrong and you're obviously misunderstanding me. When the truth is, they're probably seeing a perspective of myself that I can't see. Not always, but I think that to an extent is true. And I think the reason I struggle so much with like, wow, this is actually harder than I thought for me. The reason I struggle with listening and actually asking people questions and being like, hey, you know, like, what do you mean by that? Is because growing up, I had a father who was sort of emotionally abusive. And, you know, when I would express a belief, he would be like, oh, that's mumbo jumbo. It's like that's psychobabble, that's hippy dippy nonsense, and just like this sort of like very minimizing and insulting of what I had to say and what my beliefs were. And so my defense to that was to become even more entrenched in my beliefs and be like, no, I'm right, because it felt like he was trying to erase me or squash me or get me to do what he wanted me to do. Yeah. So my father didn't, by all appearances, it didn't seem like he wanted me to have my own beliefs. And I wrote some of those down, so I'm just like, yeah. So that. So I developed the belief that in order to be true to me, I had to be stubborn in my beliefs. That in order to survive, in order to exist as me, that I had to be really stubborn in my beliefs because my father was trying to squash them. And so this is meant, but that doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me anymore because I'm not in that abusive situation anymore. And the people I'm talking to are actually my friends and often my allies, but I have this idea in me like, oh, you're trying to squash me, you're purposely misunderstanding me. And so it's such a practice for me to be like, oh, I have a belief about having beliefs, that protects me, that being right protects me. And so it's just, I have to start doing this thing where I actually ask people like, hey, like, what do you mean when you say that? And I have a fear of that too, because my father would get angry at me, or maybe it was some other adult in my life, I don't know. But some adult in my life would get angry at me and be like, why don't you know what I'm trying to say? Like, why don't you get that? And so there was this danger in asking for clarification. There's this danger in not understanding. So often it feels safer just to assume I understand. So I've been doing this thing on Facebook where I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Or what are you trying to say? And it's scary. Oh my God, it's so scary. But it's the only way I can start challenging my beliefs. And I love it when something shifts and changes in me. It feels like this relief. I'm like, oh, I don't have to hold that anymore. Yeah, so those were my thoughts on beliefs. I feel like I probably missed a lot because I felt really nervous, but I wanted to say that. So thanks for listening. If you don't understand what I'm saying, feel free to ask questions.